thing that I was talking about earlier. That's funny. 2000 though. I didn't know that. All right, you guys. So today I have with me Saya. Is that how I pronounce your name? Yeah, Saya. And she is an air traffic controller here in Texas. So super excited to talk to you about everything controlling and radars. And you said a couple of other terminology earlier that I didn't fully understand. So we're definitely going to get into that. Um, so to start us off, what's a moment on frequency that you had that kind of got your heart racing a little bit?
I think probably the busiest moments would be weather. One of mine that I remember, and it was just when I was a trainee.
Yeah.
And it was before I even had any of my radars, so I was just doing radar associate stuff. But it was a really bad weather day, and I was a trainee, and it was a sector that I had like just recently been checked out on. And I was working with a controller whom I deeply respect. I think he's a great guy, great controller.
Yeah.
But we had like this little plane that was going to like this little untowered like airport and stuff, and there was precipitation all around it. And like we called the weather to it like so many times, and you know, in that situation, like we're supposed to just leave it up to the pilot, because it's like you can see something better than what I can. Like, yeah, it's up to you. All I can do is tell you what I see.
Yeah.
And you know, like sometimes like there's AP, like there's precipitation that's not real, you know. But this guy, like, and he just started like we could barely hear him because he got so low, and he was just moving. We could just see the track, and
Yeah.
you know, it's moments like
I noticed that like rain sometimes will like, but I would like it frequency like be able to like hear somebody. So
yeah. So and it's tough because it's like, okay, well, all we can do is sit here and hope that you make it down, you know. Like we're just watching this little track on our scope, like kind of fly around the weather, and all we hear is like half of what he's trying to say. Yeah. You know, and it's like, and that's a moment that you're kind of just like, you're nervous, especially if it is like GA.
yeah,
It's a little guy.
also like since you were so new on that thing, right? You were probably like, oh my gosh, I'm under a precip. You're flying into this. No.
Yeah, and it's tough, but
Yeah.
there's for sure moments like that. That one for me, especially because I was like so new at the time, he has like always held a spot for me.
Okay.
But
Like it's just like something that you remember.
right, like, it's a feeling you don't want to feel.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Right.
I think on the flight down here to Texas, there was like a little bit of moderate precip in front of us too, and we're like, well, we can handle it. We can, right? Or I mean, like we saw the clouds and everything too. There was like a lot to our right where we saw like a lot of precipitation, but like ahead of us, it was pretty clear. We did have right and left deviations, so we just kind of like picked around like the heavier spots. But yeah, he told us about like 2 or 3 times. So like, hey, there's weather ahead of you. Hey, you know. But you guys are required to say right. You need to get on the tape.
If it's on the scope, you gotta say it.
Yeah,
Even if the plane probably above it. Like I'm like, hey, I know you're probably 10,000 feet above this, but I'm painting it.
but it's there. Yeah. Have you ever had a pilot genuinely scare you with something that they said or did?
Yes. And for me, it's so we work with Mexico. We have I work with Monterey Center a lot.
Yeah.
And bless their hearts, you know. But you know, like there's something to be said about the loss of translation, you know. By giving like a traffic call one time, like I was like, hey, traffic, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, flight level 350. He goes, descending to flight level 350. I was like, no. He's like, no. Is that what I'm saying? But for me, that one, it is kind of funny, you know, looking back on it. But in the moment, it's like, you better not.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But yeah, that's probably my one, especially like when they're so close. It's like,
Yeah.
negative. No, okay, flight level 360.
And like you could say like a heading, but like mean a completely different headings. So like you don't. It's like one of those moments where you can like really like plug into their brain, and sometimes we wish we could do that, right? Even sometimes when I see another airplane, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, where are you going? Yeah. What is happening? What is the closest call you witnessed from your side of the mic?
I mean, you see close calls all day.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing about being on my side is there's so many, you know, and we've gotten so comfortable because there's so many outs. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna let that cook for a second and see what the speeds end up actually making it look like, you know?
Okay.
Or like, oh, I'm just gonna go 5 or 10, like, and if I need to, I'll panic when I need to.
Because how many airplanes on any given day are you like actually controlling at a time?
So it just depends, you know, like, I would say anything less than 10 planes, you're not busy. Between like 10 and 20 that you're talking to, I would say that's pretty moderate, pretty consistent. And 20 and above, like, you're busy. You know?
Yeah.
You know, and even in like, yeah, you know, like, en route, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's high and by. I was like, yeah, but because we have so many different frequencies, usually too. Like, because we own from the ground and up, you know? And granted, sector splits, you know, but like, if you're talking to more than 20 planes, it's not just like, you know, because there's so much in your head that you're thinking about. Like, you're thinking about
How to split between aircraft. That's a lot.
right,
That's like 20 different headings, 20 different airspeeds, 20 different.
routes,
Yes, exactly.
bus,
Yeah.
you know, so it's a lot. I would say like I don't know. I mean, I feel like on average, a busy session, you're working about 20, 25. Yeah, anything more than that, like, you're busy.
Yeah. How do you like decompress from that? Like because we were talking a little bit. Yeah. You work en route. You say that there's like a mid break where they expect you to take a nap.
Yeah.
And so how do you shut down your brain from everything that just happened within those
You gotta be able to leave it at work.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be able to drop it the second you walk out the door and pick it up when you walk back in.
Yeah.
You know, and even at work, you know, like, for me, like, you work a busy session and, like, you know, like, I mean, you take a break and then, like, you gotta be able to leave that session. Like, if something happened, you gotta be able to leave it and you gotta be able to move forward. And it's so much easier said than done in the moment, you know, but
Especially for overthinkers too. It's not ruminating.
right, you know, like, but you gotta leave it at the door.
Yeah. Gotta leave it at the door. I like that. Sometimes you gotta leave it in the cockpit. Do you ever go home? This kind of like taps on. Yeah. Do you ever go home replaying a situation in your head?
Yeah, all the time. I think it's human nature to be like, I mean, even if you get into an argument with someone, you know, you're like, oh, I should have said this.
Oh my god.
I would have had that with that point.
You know, let's just say after remarks that you wish kept it. Hey,
You know,
I think of them in the shower too.
you know, there's always a different way to do something in air traffic, and I think it's such an ever evolving like thing. You know, like, obviously you could have done something like 10 different ways till Tuesday, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Especially when trying to match up airspeeds, like vectoring people.
but I think that's healthy to an extent. You shouldn't be like ruminating like the whole time, like all the time. I think that's bad. But like, you know, like after a weather day, like, you know, I think it's good if you're like, I probably could have done this differently, you know? Like, but I think that's
Synapses are fired, right? You know, so
right. And you gotta grow as a control. You can't just be stagnant and hope, like, stick to one plan and hope it always works. Because that's not true.
yeah, routes always change, weather always change. I think that's like the number one important thing in aviation is to learn how to be adaptable to different scenarios, which is
Right.
sometimes.
Right. You know, you get stuck in your ways. You really want one plan to work, and it's just like,
Plus, like, we're like very systematic people too. Yeah, so you always have a checklist. You always have procedures that you gotta adhere to.
yeah.
So what do you recommend to pilots when they find themselves in those scenarios? Like, because we do have FARs that say like, you know, if we see something that you don't see, that we're allowed to deviate from what you tell us. So like, if you give us a radar vector, but we're going into a mountain, like, how do we bring that up to you guys?
I mean, I think that's a tough situation. Because for me, like, I can't vector you below my MSA, and MSA for me posted is, like, there shouldn't be anything that obstructs above it.
Okay.
So for me, like, since when we work, like, uncontrolled towers, like, y'all are gonna depart. And even if you get an IFR clearance off the ground, like, y'all are gonna depart. Y'all are gonna make your way up to an altitude that I can vector you at. But basically, like, I can't vector you beneath that. You're like, you have to get up your own way. Like, and if you call me up VFR looking for IFR, it's can you maintain your own terrain and obstruction avoidance through this altitude? And like, that's up to y'all. So for me, that's my answer. It should always be on the pilot to be like, hey, like, I need to do this. Like, and that should be given.
Yes.
Although, like, I feel like that should be, okay, maintain VFR at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like that's kind of like the scenario I'm bringing up too, is like a VFR pilot who is picking up flight following, and then they're just like coming onto your scope. So
yeah. I mean, that's on, I feel like VFR navigation, y'all can do whatever you want to do.
okay,
You know? And it's just my job to be like, hey, that's out there that I see.
yeah,
And if y'all see something, then, I mean,
say something.
right. See something, say something.
What's the most impressive thing you've heard a pilot do under pressure?
I think emergencies are impressive. Because, you know, like for me, like if y'all are declaring an emergency, I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever you want. I'm just going to move everybody. You know, for me, like that's it. Like, but I feel like you have more of the pressure of, okay, we have to do this, we have to do this. And like y'all have a checklist and stuff like,
Oh yeah,
you know,
I got all my emergency procedures right here. We're right.
you know, but I mean, I think that's impressive. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, like, doesn't that like make you worry? I was like, I'm not the one that's worried. Like, I'm not the one
I'm not the one in the hot. Hey, I just have to make sure that everybody's out of the way for that.
So, like, for me, I think that's impressive. And I'm like, you know.
How many emergency landings have you had to facilitate?
I don't think that we really get that many emergencies, to be honest. So, but like, again, for me, it's just, what do you need?
Yeah,
You need like you need that there. You like, what is here? Like whatever you need. You know, and you see some people that actually get like really scary emergencies where it's like they're talking to them all the way to the ground. I thankfully haven't had to work that.
okay,
But I can't imagine like having to do that. Like mine is just like, hey, we have a passenger that
yeah.
is like a medical emergency.
The ones that I like to listen to on Vast Aviation the most are like when it's like a student pilot first time going on their solo and they like lose like a nose wheel or something like that, and then they have to bring somebody on to kind of like help them and like calm their nerves, talk them through it. I think it's really cool that you guys do that sometimes.
Yeah, but you gotta have a level head. You gotta remove yourself from the situation a little.
Because there was that one kid, a VFR pilot, got himself into some clouds. The air traffic controller was doing a phenomenal job trying to talk him through it, but like some point through it, he just kind of gave up mentally. So yeah, that's a really sad one if you ever worry about the aviation. That's why you always get your instrument before you fly in any clouds, because you have no idea. What does your screen actually look like when things get really busy?
Okay, so it's like a black or blue scope. I'm a black scope. I don't like the blue scope.
Okay.
But it's a black scope, and then basically like all your information for your like it's just like a little dot. Like y'all are just a little dot on a screen. You know?
Kind of cool though.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, especially because you get to see it, you know?
Yeah.
But
He's gonna give us a tour later on today. I'm super excited.
But it's just like a screen, and then we've got lines of our sector boundaries, and the planes are just like the little dots, and then all the information, and then you can it's called a data block.
Data block, okay.
But it has like all of your information, like starting with the call sign at the top. It's got your airspeed, it's got your altitude. Yeah, and then it's got like your CID,
Okay.
which is an acronym
Yeah.
that I don't even know what it stands for. But a CID is like a 3-digit number, and it's like how we control the data block.
What's the hardest type of airspace to work in?
I think popcorn weather.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if y'all know like the term, like when we say there's popcorn weather, like it's just like it's not like very consistent, you know, like your whole scope isn't blue,
Okay.
but like it's just like little pockets of it, because
But,
like
yeah, isolated.
it's not enough to shut down the airspace, and planes don't want to fly through it, and you know, but because everybody's deviating a bunch of different ways, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and you can only allow planes to deviate like how they want to an extent before they start coming back together on the other side, you know?
Gotcha.
So that's a difficult one, and I think it adds like a lot of workload because now you're watching multiple different aspects, you know?
Yeah. So when you ask for right or left deviation, like how far are we allowed to go before you guys are like, all right, now you need to go direct route, or here's another waypoint, or
I think it depends on what the controller has going on out there and what their workload is. For me personally, if there's weather and planes need a deviation, I would rather have y'all tied on a route that's around the weather, you know. But like if it's just something like if you're my first couple planes going through it, I don't know what it looks like on your guys' end because there's always an overhang.
yeah.
Or like, you know, like the weather night might not be like as bad as what the scope depicts, or it might be worse, you know? So typically at first, like we'll be like, hey, like deviate as necessary when able to direct this, advise, you know? But like when I give it, I guess it depends on the interpretation. You can deviate as far left or right as long as I'm not like up to 15 degrees, you know?
Okay.
Like for me, like it should be specified. If a controller's like, you can't deviate that, but like you should have specified that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you gotta communicate. You gotta communicate.
Yeah. Because we just need to know so that we can help you guys out. Uh, when do you guys ask for PIRAPs? Like, how do you
Okay.
ask for PIRAPs?
So for us, like there's minima. Like if it's for an airport, like they go, can you give me a tops report? Can you give me a basis report? You know, like if I'm like showing like that it's below like, you know, like 5 miles, 10 miles, you know, like we're supposed to ask for a basis report, you know. But other than that, like we'll ask just so, I mean, a good controller is gonna ask just so he knows what's going on in his sector.
Okay.
You know, like
And that's why I wanted to ask, because you were talking about the popcorn weather, knowing when to send pilots through and when not to send them through. Do you ask for pilot reports in those situations? Or I kind of see what the planes do and then,
if my workload allows me to, I'll be like, hey, do you have a tops report on that? Or like, do you see anything out there? Like, you know, like, because like we never actually know for us, you know, like we're just in a black room, like hoping like, yeah, everything is like working, you know. But like if my workload is high and I'm like trying to give multiple planes deviations and I get, hey, pirate for you, center, like, I'm like, you're like, oh, I don't have time for this. Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, thank you. Thanks. But, you know, I mean, everything's workload permitted, you know, obviously, like you want to know what's going on in your sector and you want to be able to provide the best service,
yes.
you know, but I mean, every controller, I think, can handle different amounts of different things.
Yeah.
So
That's true. That's true. All right. And then back to the question that I asked, what's something pilots think is easy, but is actually really hard for you?
I think that's a hard one to answer. Because one, I don't want to assume what y'all think is easy, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, I think sometimes dead air can be confused. Like,
Because you don't hear people on frequency.
yeah,
Like,
well, because, and it's tough, especially because I know, like, some other centers have, like, where you can hear all their frequencies if they're combined up on,
yeah.
you know?
Actually, I could hear that.
Yeah, Houston isn't like that.
Okay.
So, like, just it, like, if you hear dead air, we might have a different pilot, like, on a different frequency, or we might have that transmitter site turned off.
Okay.
So, like, I think sometimes, like, dead air can be confused for, oh, he's not that busy. But it's like, no, it's just my other frequency.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you guys are controlling multiple different frequencies.
Yeah.
So sometimes we hear the controller, but not the other pilots as they're talking to.
Yeah.
And then I think sometimes, like, as they wiggle away from your sector too, like, we hear less of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's always, like, a few times when, like, usually when we hear dead air, we kind of start to get a little antsy because we're, like, thinking, oh, have I missed something? Yeah. So that, like,
Still there.
when we're, like, checking in, like, we're just making sure that you're still there, checking up on us.
Yeah, that one actually kind of cracks me up because like when the guy like after a while it's like, oh, still there. I'm like, yeah, next 20 years.
That's funny. That's funny. What's something that pilots do that instantly makes your job easier?
Like how we're in the room. Okay, dude. You know, like or like when you wait, like give me a second, I'll get to you. You know, like I think like because we do have our boundaries and like pilots that check in like 3 times like back to back to back, especially the airlines. I'm like, I'm trying, like give you working up, like but usually we'll get back to you. Be like, oh, he's in my airspace and I don't have a VCI on them. I don't have a green on him. I must be talking to him. Or so we'll cold call. Like, most of us will be like, if we missed your check on, personally, if I missed your check on, but I see you're in my airspace, I'll say like call sign, say right conditions. If you ever hear a random say right conditions, sometimes it's not for any reason other than I'm trying to see if you're here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Yeah, because sometimes they have us switch over to like we're still with the same controller but different frequency.
oh yeah.
So sometimes I don't always check in with that because like whenever I check it, then I'll just get like a Roger.
Right.
So I'm like, do I need to check in? Do I not need to? Well, yeah, should check.
I would just, but like it wouldn't be like a whole spiel. Like you don't have to be like, like it's like, hey, like on your new frequency.
Yeah,
With
altitude,
yeah,
tail number.
yeah.
That's it. What's one of those phrases that just kind of like pisses you off?
For me, I can't stand giving a code and when the pilot goes coming at you, because I'm like,
Coming at.
I'm like, oh, I don't want you to come at me. It's like, especially as a man, don't say that to me.
I'm a lady, sir.
I hope not.
Like, because I hear like with ya is really annoying.
Well, I don't know as much there. I think some of them it's comedic. I think, and again, it's gonna be personality clash.
Oh yeah.
For me, like I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah. There was one time I had a controller. It was like Easter. And like every single time he would sign somebody off, he would say like a different holiday, like Happy Hanukkah or like Merry Christmas or
Yeah, lots of different personalities.
yeah. I think that's funny. It like adds a little spice into your day.
Yeah, and sometimes that's fun. It keeps it interesting because it can be boring sometimes. Yeah,
It's boring for us too sometimes, especially if you're on a long like 3-hour cross country or just like sitting here like
right.
I've checked the weather, I briefed the plate for the approach that I want to do already.
Yeah, you're hoping for a sassy controller.
Yeah.
As long as it's not me.
Make it a little fun, please.
Yeah.
Anybody want to have a combo? I'm bored. Especially if you're by yourself, right? It's just kind of like, it gets a little boring up here. What's the most common mistake pilots make on frequency?
I mean, I feel like it's just got to be a readback error every now and then,
Okay.
Like, I think like there's such a bias. If you're headed westbound, but top my stratum's 230, you get a lot of 220 readbacks. It's like, no.
No, you're not.
No, it's 230. Or like, just like inverting some stuff. I mean, but it's so common and like it's part of why we're there. But sometimes I think there's such a bias that like it can go miss sometimes, unfortunately. And you just got to hope that, like you're on the ball enough to catch that.
Yeah.
But it's probably just got to be a readback error.
Yeah. Because I do that too. Like when I'm putting out like a squawk code or something like that, like I'll have all the numbers correct. It's just the order that they're in. Correct.
So it's like so close.
So close. Do you prefer pilots to talk more or less?
Again, workload.
Yeah.
If I'm busy, like, please be quiet. Please keep it short. Keep it simple for me.
Yeah.
But, if I'm slow or whatever, like, I don't mind a little personality coming out,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my manager might not like that, but.
Yeah. I tend to like just keep it professional, keep it to the numbers. I wish I could be a little bit more talkative on presenting, but I'm also like scared too.
Yeah.
Do we do this one? What's the most annoying thing a pilot could do?
Oh. Not take their switch.
Not what?
Not take their switch.
Not take their the thing that I was talking about earlier. Just buddy. That's good to know though. I didn't know that.
But I think it's tough because like especially like it's like for the 5th time. Yeah, I'm American.
Okay.
Like but it's like I don't know. Yeah, it's just like such little things sometimes are just like this motherfucker, But it's like you can't let it really affect you too much, but it's just like
yeah.
and it's tough because when your job is talking, like, yeah, it's like, well, I'm just talking to myself, I guess. But
Yeah.
I think it's such a sibling relationship with air traffic and pilots. Like, yeah, I want what's best for you, and I want to try and help you. Yet also listen to me.
Yes. I know we were talking about this earlier, but like the aviation industry is like a big family, and like air traffic controllers and pilots are like cousins. So different parents, same family, but we're riffing on each other. Yeah, we call air traffic controllers sky mommies and sky dad. Those you guys are kind of like looking over.
It's kind of, in a sense, it's like, I know you want this altitude. Like, give me a second. And we just get what you want when you want it.
Exactly. Can you tell when a pilot is nervous or inexperienced just by their voice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you got like, I think people could probably tell when controllers are new too. Like there's a little, you hear a voice crack every now and then,
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like for us, like we get like a first student solo.
Yeah.
Okay, baby.
Oh, the baby pilot. Gotta look out for the.
But I mean, you could tell a little bit.
Yeah. I remember my first time doing a spicy approach. I was coming back from Asheville, North Carolina. I was helping out with like the hurricane relief runs. And I had gotten back at like the worst possible timing because there was like water precip moving over the fields. But I was also too scared to like ask for a deviation to a different airport. So I kind of just pushed myself through it. Okay. So once again, if you could give every pilot one piece of advice, what would
For GA, like, we want to help you. We understand, like, and I feel like for me personally, and I think some of my like controlling friends, like, we have a lot more patience for GA.
Yeah.
For airliners, get it together. You've been doing this.
Heather, you do this as a job. You should know what you're doing at this point.
No, it's all right. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to help you guys. I mean, it's our job. It's a service industry for us,
Yeah.
But
And a lot of GA, you don't know what you're getting. It could be like the weekend warrior or the student who's training or the student pilot on the solo.
there's a whole lot more grace with GA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. When I was first starting off, like comms is like the one thing that like people overthink the most. And I think it's just because you're talking to another person and that person like has the power to get you in trouble. So you don't, and like it's a student teacher. Yeah. So it's like that little bit of like stress and like, instructors when you're first starting out, they're like super tough on you about rules and regulations because they know if you don't follow the rules and regulations, you're going to be a bad pilot. So like they tend to scare you a little bit, but it's also good that they scare you.
Yes, and there's for sure some controllers that are more grumpy, Yeah. But I do think at the end of the day, there's a lot more grace given.
Yeah.
The GA, especially.
I actually kind of like the grumpy controllers sometimes. Because they're just like matter of facts, do what you need to do, and I'll get you through the rapid situation. All right, rapid fire question time. Favorite pilot accents you hear on frequency?
Or New Zealand.
New Zealand? Okay.
Easy.
Do you ever like pretend to have an accent sometime just for fun?
Absolutely not.
Is that considered unprofessional?
I don't know. I think mine aren't that great though. So.
Gotcha. All right. Least favorite phrase that pilots say. I think we are
Coming at you.
Coffee or energy drinks on ship?
Energy drinks.
Energy drinks. Do you have a favorite?
Blue or Celsius.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the Alani News.
You do?
Yeah, those are really good.
Which one? Their Halloween one is good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. They also had like that caramel apple. So
I haven't had that one.
It's pretty good. Funniest thing you've heard on frequency.
Okay, this is gonna go back to working next to Monterey Center. So we get a lot of Air Mexicos and Mexican air carriers and everything.
Okay.
And it's funny because the U.S. pilots, like American Skywest, Southwest, they will not want to touch anything.
Okay.
But one time, it was a little bit of a weather day. I wasn't super busy though, but I hadn't had a single plane stay at like an altitude, and I was like, Air Mexico, like call sign, like, hey, like say ride conditions. He goes, he's constant moderate turbulence, but he's okay. And I was like, oh, do you want to try different altitude? He goes, no. And I was like, oh, like they will go through anything.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, American, Southwest, SkyWest, Delta, like they don't want to touch it.
Yeah, they'll be
Air Mexico, he's
pushing through it.
yeah, he's going like this.
Moderate turbulence.
It's okay though. And I'm like, oh, okay. You let me know. But that's probably one of the funniest, like to this day. Like
Yeah.
that one cracks me up. I'm like, that's so funny.
Yeah. Mexico pilots, they're like different. They'll land at like a little runway in the middle of nowhere. It's like very surrounded by trees.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're just doing whatever.
You ever think of any planes that are like cartel planes?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I know. Probably can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Or to some extent, the tail numbers.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, because we do have borders, like with them, obviously, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something we're supposed to talk about.
Gotcha. Yeah, because what can you tell about a plane from just the radar, other than like heading altitude?
Oh, everything. We have all their information. You know, like we have like, I'll be able to show you it too. Like we have a whole template of your whole flight plan.
Okay.
And I don't think Terminal has that.
Yeah.
And I think Tracon has some form of that, but I don't know the extent of it.
Okay.
But ERIS, like our system, it's pretty telling. I think we have pretty much everything. Like there'll be times when we get calls from like San Antonio and Austin approach, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you put this like plan information in for me?"
Yeah.
Because I think our system is so much better at handling that than theirs. Like I think theirs just supposed to be really complicated.
Okay.
So I think like we just have an easier system like to work with.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we don't all have the same system. I feel like that would make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, you know, but well, that'll make too much sense. Yeah, things in aviation can't make great.
Right.
Have you ever had to give out a phone number before?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can't talk about it now.
No, I think it's fine to talk about. But like mine was like a SkyWest. Like he was given a shortcut by the previous controller, and he just like overflew it. He was like 10 miles past his fix, right? And he was going right into traffic, like that was descending.
No.
And I was like, hey, like clear direct LOL, like you're clear direct like this fix, you know, like.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, we're direct. I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're far away from. In fact, you're about to hit somebody.
Oh, so.
But that was the one time that I found, like, I was like, hey, I got a number for you. I was like, you just, like, overflew it by 10 miles, and I just had to panic vector someone.
Yeah.
You know? And it's, like, right on the boundary of, like, of Fort Worth Center. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because you guys don't really give out phone numbers unless, like, it causes, like, a real actual issue.
I think it controller dependent, you know?
Or dependent.
Yeah, like, I had a little GA guy one time. And I think it's also just, like, a loss of, like, translation of like terminal to en route, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like he wanted like a practice approach and stuff, and I was like, okay, he's like, just like, you know, like I cleared him in and everything, and then he departs, and he never canceled his IFR or anything, and he starts headed right towards his next destination. I was like, hey, you gotta fly the published MITs.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, like I'm not gonna give you a number, but just for next time, like you gotta do it this way. You can cancel, and then you can do that, call and pick up your IFR again, you know. But like for me, you can't do that because I'm blocking.
Yeah.
For us, like we have to call and we have to block altitudes and coordinate things and stuff. And like, and you're on an IFR flight plan, you gotta do the Helvish mist.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I'm not gonna give a number to that because it's like that's such a little thing, and I don't have anybody else around that area at the time. Like you didn't really cause an issue, but you coulda.
Yeah.
You know.
There was this one time where I was flying up in the Chicago area, and there was this Honda jet, and he was practicing approaches, and I just remember the controller was
Oh yeah.
Chicago and New York will rip you. I knew it was. Yeah. There was weather going on that date, which I'm sure definitely played a factor into like how much this controller was staring against this guy. But yeah, I think I don't know if he got issued a phone number or not, but I think like the controller was pretty close to giving him one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hate to do it.
Yeah, but
Sometimes it's like, hey, like you're not like I don't want you to feel bad, but also like I need you to know what the right way is.
yeah,
And clearly you don't.
yeah,
You know, like and I wish like and I think like a lot of things in aviation, like it's okay to mess up. Like genuinely, like I think it's okay, but we need to talk about it. And we need to be able to talk about it without someone being like,
yeah. Without somebody listening in.
well, right, and like without like it's okay, like, you know, like we're all gonna mess up every now and then. Like that's yeah, human factor. You know, but like let's make it an environment where we can discuss it.
Yeah.
You know?
So when you issue a phone number, that's to talk directly to you, right?
Or no, so for me, it's gonna be, hey, like, I just issued a pilot deviation, and the number, like, it's gonna come back, and my supervisor's gonna be like, hey, so this is what happened.
Gotcha.
You can't do it that way. This is why. You know, and like, if it causes a loss of separation, I think it gets elevated.
Yeah.
But hopefully, it doesn't.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you like and subscribe. Also, join the conversation in the comments down below if you want to answer any of my questions. And see ya.